In this video, I'm going to react to a couple of the 28 years later The Bone Temple clips. This first one that I'm going to react to is a TV spot.
When the infected attack, what do they see?
What are you watching, Father?
We search for souls to deliver to hell.
Today, I did feel fear.
I'm in a bit of a bind. You're in a bit of a bind too.
Now, a leap into the unknown.
So this TV spot here, I think is pretty interesting. I'm not sure what language this is in the subtitles, but it looks like this is a TV spot for another country. And like I keep on saying this a lot in my reaction videos, but I just find it so interesting, the characters that they have in this franchise now with Dr. Kelson and Sir Jimmy Crystal. And they said a couple really interesting things there in this TV spot. And the one that sticks out to me is that Jimmy Crystal says we're both in a bind to Dr. Kelson. So I know there's a lot of people that saw it like in a pre-screen. So they kind of know what's going on. But I'm so interested to know what's going to happen in this new installment. But yeah, that's what I have to say for this TV spot. And now we're going to move on to the next clip. Oh, this next clip here, I believe this is maybe a trailer that was released in Singapore, or more of like an international trailer, or I don't know, featurette.
28 years later was the first of 3 films. The second movie, The Bone Temple, which Nia DaCosta's directed, is so extraordinarily intense. Nia has her own identity and a way of going about things. I was very impressed.
I wanted to do a different approach, something terrifying and very unsettling and weird.
Are you ready?
The Bone Temple steps back and what people love about 28 Days Later. Dr. Kelson learns more about the infected, which is incredibly important to the world at large.
The virus evolves. It doesn't stop.
In a world like this where everyone's fending for themselves and the societal structures don't exist anymore and you have to find a way to make your own, some people choose anarchy and violence.
But the worst threat are not the infected. The Jimmies commit horrific acts of violence, doing terrible things to people.
Obviously, we're going to kill you. Jimmy Crystal has had this terrible thing happen to him as a kid.
Jimmy, run! No, run!
Watching his family get eaten alive. He's quite psychotic as a result. In this post-apocalyptic world, evil has prevailed. He is evil.
While the infected have run riot for 28 years, the Jimmies make you question what it is to be human.
Pain is delight.
Let's turn this up to 11.
So one of the things that stood out to me in this clip here is like, I wonder if Jimmy Crystal and his group, or his cult, have some type of like layer, like the Bone Temple that Dr. Kelson has, and that's kind of what that beginning clip reminded me of. And I think one of the most interesting things in this series now is how are the infected going to evolve, right? So we've already seen them evolve into what is now the alphas for the most part. And so they're a little bit more intelligent than the infected that we saw in the earlier franchise movies. But I'm really curious to see how they're gonna, or if they're gonna expand the evolution of them over the course of the next 2 movies. And so like, what does this mean for humans, right? So like in one of my earlier videos, I had spoken about how it's almost as if humans are devolving, with Jimmy Crystal as the example, and then the infected are evolving, in the infected like the Alpha Samson. So I wonder if they're going to continue that, and like, is there going to be like a superhuman in the infected, and just how that's all going to play out. So the other thing I noticed is like it's interesting how like Jimmy Crystal and Dr. Kelson, they're kind of very similar in a way that they've kind of accepted this world that they live in, and they're just playing their part. So like Dr. Kelson is having his memorial with the Bone Temple, and at the same time possibly looking for a cure. And then there's Jimmy Crystal, who's content with the world that he lives in, and just wants it to stay the way it is. So I kind of see them as like similar in that they've accepted this world, but the philosophies are different in that one is trying to change it, even though he realizes this is the world that he lives in, and the other one is he's trying to live in the world that exists without it changing. And so, yeah, I think that's very interesting. But that's what I have to say for this one. I'll leave it right there. Thanks for watching.